All right, Ted. We saw this in 2020. We all go to bed. Donald Trump's winning big in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, a lot of different states. They halt counting in the dead of night, and sometimes it took multiple days. But lo and behold, they found a box of ballots, and Joe Biden is the president of the United States. And if you raise concerns about that unlikely possibility that all of those votes in the dead of night as the election was counting was drug on, you were an election denier. How dare you? And even CNN and Fox News, as they were going through the races on election night, they said, and so-and-so is defeating such and such, who's an election denier. And so I looked at the stats, Ted, and virtually every time the race can't get called that night, every time they have to review other ballots and find other ballots, you'll never guess who the winner was or is going to be. No, I guess you can guess. What's your take on the fact that Florida just overcame a hurricane, was able to count many, many more ballots and call all their state elections the night of the election versus Arizona, who's drug it out for a week? Nevada drug it out forever until they could find enough votes to flip it Democrat. And what's going on in California right now, where the Democrats still believe after they go through all these ballots that they're going to hold the House of Representatives. I mean, what's your take on this drug out counting and what the results seem to always be?
Well, my take on it is pretty obvious because, just a little while ago, I went to the outhouse, and once again, I produced truth, logic, and common sense in its most tangible form. I'm a truth, logic, and common sense guy. To think that the author of Cat Scratch Fever, Thiracious, Terminus Eldorado, and Wango Tango might be the source of wisdom is certainly a manifestation of a cultural deprivation, the likes of which represent a dangerous and inescapable cultural suicide going on. But here's the wisdom, here's the truth, here's the logic, here's the common sense. Ron DeSantis demanded what Uncle Ted said yesterday on the Nightly News. One vote per living U.S. citizen. You have to show ID and vote. Show up. No neighbors harvesting ballots. They banned the early voting. I believe it was the early voting, the mail-in voting, and the ballot harvesting. And look at Florida. It's been typically a purple, if not a blue state. And now they're starting to realize that secure borders are a good idea. Unemployment is good for America, that low crime is good for America, that a government that serves we the people, even after a horrific hurricane, which, by the way, we're going down to Naples here real soon to do a benefit with Leonard Skinner and Ira Dean and a bunch of great artists. Derek St. Holmes will be joining me on stage to play love songs. And we're going to raise money for our fellow Americans because that's the spirit of Florida. That's why it's red. That's why Ron DeSantis is now an American hero for truth, logic, common sense, God, family, country, law and order, the Constitution, work ethic, and all the important quality of life ingredients, because he implemented what the author of Wango Tango recommended long ago. You get one vote and you have to prove you're alive and you have to prove you're an American citizen. That's the answer. One vote per living U.S. citizen, and it's counted that day. Again, I'm just a guitar player, but even Ron DeSantis knows truth, logic, and common sense, even if it comes from the Motor City Madman.
Do you think it's a coincidence, Ted, in Nevada that the Republican was winning days after the election? Then overnight, the camera in the counting room went dark, and they said they were sorry and they'd fixed the glitch. But the next day, a ton more ballots were found for the Democrat, and the race is immediately called. Lo and behold, the Democrat won. Is that a coincidence? What do you think?
Again, you can't make this stuff up, Keith. The Democrats are so emboldened that Hillary Clinton is not in prison yet, that they're not showing the footage from January 6th as they claim they're doing an investigation on what took place, but they're not looking at the security camera footage, that they're not finding out the list and the security camera footage from the Jeffrey Epstein island, but they claim they're looking into it and they're looking for justice. There's so many examples.
Well, you know what, Ted, the last couple of weeks, all we've talked about is the election, a lot of negativity. And so tomorrow night, I only want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about your music because I know you've got a brand new vinyl out, and I'm so excited to listen to it. You were just talking beforehand how your producer and drummer has done such a great job with all that, and I want to talk about that tomorrow and other music, but no politics tomorrow night right here on the Nightly News. We're going to take a break and get musical.
Rock and roll will cleanse the soul, especially from Uncle Ted.